And you know what? To go back to the Tough Enough thing for a second, I was just thinking earlier, the news came out this week that Kenta is leaving Pro Wrestling Noah. Kenta is the biggest star in the Pro Wrestling Noah promotion over in Japan. Daniel Bryan has talked about Kenta as being one of, if not his most favorite opponent. They had tons of matches back when Bryan was in Ring of Honor. Some of them I saw, they were great. Kenta's a great wrestler. And there was a whole, not a controversy, but there was a whole thing a few months ago where he actually flew to the States after a loop of shows in Japan. He flew over here, and he spent like a week down at the Performance Center in Orlando, and that had everybody thinking, oh, okay, this must be a tryout. He must be coming to WWE, or they're considering him. And he pretty much shot that down after the fact. He flew back to Japan. He said, well, it was always a dream of mine to possibly be in WWE, and I just wanted to go and check out the Performance Center and train and lock up with those guys and just see what they're all about and basically just live a dream. It doesn't mean I'm going. I wasn't there for a tryout. He denied the whole thing. And I didn't really buy that much at the time. I figured, look, the guy is flying all the way from Japan after the shows that he performed at, flew over to the States, spent like a week here, training down in Orlando. He wasn't training in Orlando just for the hell of it. They didn't bring him in and had people evaluating him, apparently, just for the hell of it. Clearly he was being considered for a roster spot. It was a tryout. How serious it was, who knows. Apparently it was serious enough because there's no confirmation, but if I had to bet money, I would put money down that Kenta is on his way to WWE. He is being very coy about that right now. That may just be because his contract doesn't end with Pro Wrestling Noah for another couple weeks. My guess would be mid-May. We'll find out more. And WWE maybe will make some sort of announcement. If they bring him over, that's a huge coup. I mean, he's not an old guy. He's 33, so he's not young either. But he's a great wrestler, and I don't know how his English is and that sort of stuff, because that's kind of important if you come over here to be able to communicate and do interviews and stuff like that. But if they pick him up, that's a big pickup for them. And supposedly there's still an outstanding offer to Prince Devitt. So there's a lot of really great talent that could very well be coming over to the Performance Center and NXT. Because I have no doubt that if these guys sign, they're going to NXT first. Doesn't matter how good you are. You will pass through NXT first, probably get a name change and a gimmick change and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think those guys need that, but that's just how they do things down there. But I was just thinking, if Kenta comes over and Prince Devitt signs and comes over, would they put them on a new season of Tough Enough? Almost as like ringers on the show. And would that be the worst thing in the world? Because at first, when you think about that, the idea of putting a guy like a Kenta, who's got years of experience, and Prince Devitt, who's just phenomenal, and bringing them over and putting them on a show where, again, I don't know what the rebooted version might look like, but traditionally, Tough Enough was about bringing up guys, independent wrestlers, people who, have only kind of toiled around in the minor leagues, so to speak, and to see if they can cut the mustard in WWE. And they do the eliminations, and you get voted off, and that sort of thing. And they had Matt Cross on the last season of Tough Enough, and Matt Cross is a good wrestler, too. He's a good independent wrestler. He's been around for a while. He was like the second person, I think, eliminated on Tough Enough. And that pissed off a whole bunch of people. Austin Aries was considered. I think, actually, Austin Aries was supposed to be on the original cast for the new season of Tough Enough, but that was when Kevin Dunn and WWE got involved with the production company, and they saw the list of guys, and there were a few different indie guys on there, including Aries, and they're like, no, we don't want these guys. We don't want this to be a show full of just indie guys. We'll have one, which I guess is why they left Matt Cross on there, but then they just brought in all these other people, because they were looking for personalities. They don't give a shit if you're a great independent wrestler. That's not really what they're looking for. So this time, I just wonder, though, if they did sign these guys and they have Tough Enough as this new vehicle on the network and they want to try to get these guys over, I don't know. Is it really that horrible of an idea to put those guys, or one of them, let's say, on Tough Enough to try to help get them over? I mean, they'd have to win. I mean, you have them on Tough Enough and then you cut them on week 2, and that's just a complete waste. But if the idea was, let's bring these guys in as ringers and put one or both of them on Tough Enough, and use that as a way to actually get them over. Like, that's our big idea, how we're going to get these guys introduced and kind of separate them. Instead of just having them in NXT and debuting like everybody else, just another guy. Maybe in their mind, that could be a way to help get these guys over. I don't know. I'm just, I heard the Tough Enough news. I heard the Kenta news. He may come over, and I just thought I wonder if they would do that. And I wonder if that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Because I don't know. I mean, their history, their track record when it comes to the Japanese guys or the Asian talent, spotty. They have a spotty record when it comes to international talent, foreign. I'm not talking about UK guys. I'm talking more other parts of the world. I am not entirely enthusiastic about that when it comes to their history with those guys. So if they want to try something different, maybe that's not the worst idea in the world.